Hey guys, I'm Sharad Mohan and my roll number is AMENU for CSC 18349 and my partner is Rajat Kalarikal and his roll number is AMENU for CSC 18302. The project that we worked on is attendance management system. For front end we use Java Swing and we use text files for backend. So first I'll run the program and along with it I'll show you guys the code as well. So here's a driver class. It has the main function in it. Now I'm going to run the program. Here we have the front page which has two panels in it, two J panels. The first panel has 4 buttons that I've added as in flow layout. The second panel has image icon which I added to a J label which I put on the panel. So here's a code for it. Here's the first panel made in flow layout. Here are the 4 buttons: home, admin, faculty and student. I've added action listener to each of those buttons. That is, when they press, they invoke the constructor of the respective pages. I will show you those pages as we move forward. Here is the second panel on which I made this image icon which I put it to a J label which I added to the second panel. So moving forward, here is the login page for admin. I've created the labels and text fields using flow layout, and this J label and this text field is made in the first panel. The password and the next text field is made using the next panel in flow layout, and here's a J button that I made in the third panel, that too using flow layout. The username and password is root. So here's the code for the page. Here's the first panel as I mentioned right now, the second panel and the third panel. It has the label and text field respectively. So when the enter button is pressed, and I've implemented an action listener. So when it is pressed, it checks if the username and password is root, and if it is so, then it invokes the admin link function, admin link constructor that opens the next page. On this page I've used 2 panels. The first panel I've left it as empty, and the second panel it contains the sidebar, which are the buttons and which are the functions as that of an admin. So we can add faculty, add student and add subjects. So for adding faculty, I'll just give you an example. So I've added a faculty. This will get saved in a text file. The text file called faculty list. So here you can see the latest entry that I've made. So here's the code for the page. Hmm, I made this page using grid layout. So when the submit button is pressed, I've implemented an action listener. It creates a file called faculty list, and that you saw right now. And to the file, I implemented a file writer, so I can write data to the file. I created variables that fetch the data from the text fields that we enter, and it is made into a single line, and this single line, which is stored as a string total, is returned into the file. That is it. So in the same way, you can add students and add subjects. So what we do next is, you can log in as a faculty that you have entered. So the faculty can upload attendance. So for this page we used grid layout again. Here's the first panel, here's the second panel. For this page we use 3 panels. This is a pretty tricky page to create. So this is the first panel, panel P0. It contains the roll number, J label, name, present, absent, and the J button of submit, and a scroll pane. Here's the second panel. It's the sidebar. And to the scroll pane we added another panel, and on that panel we added 2 J labels and 2 radio buttons as an array. So depending on the number of students, it will keep increasing, and once a certain limit has reached, it will start scrolling. Here's the code for the 2 pages, attend 1 and attend 2. Yeah, so here we have the code for the backend. So when we enter the department, when we enter the department, semester, and section, it is stored in 2 variables, and these variables check the database, that is a student list text file, for the students of the respective department, section, etc. So if it is matching, the names and roll numbers of those students are fetched and stored into another text file. I create another text file, attend1. Into that we save, we write the data, that is the roll number, name, and students of that department, belonging to the department, section, and semester. So once it's written over there, using this data which is in attend1, we open, so first we open attend1, we count the number of students that's there, then we use another scanner to read the to read the roll number, name, and date, and store it into variable array, string arrays accordingly. Here's what's present on panel P0, as I mentioned before: the roll number, name, present, and absent button, label, and the submit button. Here's what's added to the scroll pane. I create the labels, I create the buttons as an array. The labels have already been created as an array above here, to which the roll number and name is saved. Then once the submit button is pressed, the action listener works, and it creates a new file that saves the data whether a student is present or absent. So to this we write the roll number, the name, the attendance status, and the date. So it checks if the present button is pressed or if it is absent, and then it writes the data to attend to the text file. So here's the data of all the students that is the updated data of the attendance of each and every student. Here's what I entered right now, the date 30, marking 30. So then once the data of the student is updated, you can log in as a student, and view the attendance of the student. So this here is our project. We thank everyone who helped us out. Nam Shivaya.